This is an Evergreen Media Network studio production.
Broadcasting from the Evergreen Media Network studios in Vero Beach, Florida. It's Huntin with Heather.
Hey y'all, welcome to Huntin with Heather. I am your host, Heather Hawk. This is season 1, episode 17. If you're new to this show, welcome. This show is dedicated to all those who love to hunt, love the outdoors, and those who want to learn more. Whether you're a seasoned hunter or a green hunter, this show is going to be packed full of information. We're going to talk deer, turkey, and everything in between. And of course, you can't forget about the stories that keep us coming back for more. So grab a seat, sit back, and let's talk hunting. So you guys, we are finished. We had just finished up spring turkey here in Florida. It was a slow season for me. I didn't get a chance to turkey hunt like I want to. I did guide some, but it was still exciting. I got to hear them gobble. We got to see them. That's always a successful hunt. So to my friends that are still out there turkey hunting up north, and some seasons are just getting started, good luck. Go get them. So you guys, my guest today, I am so excited. You don't even know. I met her several weeks ago, and she is, let me just do a little introduction because she definitely needs it. She was the 22-23 Intermediate Beef Ambassador for the state of Florida. She's been competition clay shooting since she was 8 years old. She's been featured in Woods and Water magazine. She's part of the Junior Florida Cattlemen's Association, as well as the Hillsborough Junior Cattlemen's. She just had her 18th birthday. I mean, she's accomplished all that, in which she'll be graduating high school in just a few short weeks, all while doing dual schooling at her local community college. But her number one priority is her love for the Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. And secondly, what he created for her, the great outdoors. And that's where I got to meet this young lady. And without further ado, Cade McCollough. Welcome to the show, Cade.
Hello. Good afternoon.
Thanks for coming on. And I'm so excited to have you on.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. So we met several weeks ago at the youth gator hunt.
Yes, ma'am. It's hard to believe it's been so long already.
I know. It seems like it was just the other day.
I know.
That was a fun weekend, wasn't it?
It was incredible. If I could do it again, I would. The people, the place, it was all fantastic.
That's awesome. And that program was put on by the Florida Youth Hunt. And so the organization that put that one particular one on was Indian River County Airboat Association. And so I was so excited that you got on with that group and that you were picked to do that hunt. There's your fabulous gator, for those that can see it. She had the biggest gator of all the kids. So girl power.
Yes, 9'6".
That's right. That was awesome. And I know you said, man, it was a struggle to get him in, wasn't it?
It was. It was almost 40 minutes since I hooked him to get him on the land. It was incredibly long and tiring, but it was worth it. It was so much fun.
It usually is. So now, let me ask you real quick, how did you get into hunting? Like, how did you start?
So hunting really started when I was younger, and it was more or less scouting, just going out, looking at deer tracks or trails, see where the animals have been, and kind of just getting involved in nature to see like what the animals do, where they go, and then watching like what times they come out and what times they go in. And then that later evolved to going out and waiting for ones to come and then harvesting them. But really, my brother, who is a little bit older than me, he had been hunting, so I kind of got involved through that. I wanted to do what he was kind of doing thing. And seeing how he was so happy every time he got to harvest whatever animal it was that he harvested really kind of put something in me that I also wanted to have that happiness through that. whether that was through hunting or fishing.
Absolutely. There's nothing like it. When you get
No.
that harvest, there is nothing like that feeling.
And you know that, well, in this alligator case, you worked for it, and it's just a big reward at the end.
It is. Big reward. And you went home with a lot of meat.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, we did.
Yeah, that was really cool. You got the opportunity to learn how to, harvest one and then to clean it and to skin it and to, be able to bring the meat home.
Yes. And then also thinking of recipes and how to prepare it and cook it and serve it is also just a whole nother lesson to learn.
You are absolutely right about that. And the more you do it, the more you'll learn, And so did you guys have fried up gator tail?
Not yet.
What?
Not yet.
Okay. I'm sure
We're
it's
waiting for a
coming.
big party
Nice.
celebration where everybody comes and we can have a whole bunch of it.
Yeah, maybe your graduation party, if you got family coming in,
Maybe.
that would be, since you're going to be graduating soon here in a few weeks.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah, that's exciting. And then you're doing right now you're doing some dual, you've been doing some dual classes at the college, local college there, right?
Yes, ma'am, I have.
That's awesome.
I have a little over a year left, and then I'll graduate with my AA.
Fantastic. I know we talked a little bit about, what I asked you what you thought your major was going to be. You're just not quite sure yet, which is completely understandable, especially at your age.
Yes, I'm not sure.
That's okay. We usually change it, or they change it several times before they graduate anyways, right?
Right.
So let's talk a little bit more about, so what does hunting and being in the outdoors mean to you personally?
So personally, it's kind of a getaway because you can just connect with nature, see God's animals, what he's created, and just kind of be in the moment and take it all in. And where we go hunting, there's a lot of pine trees and the wind comes through, and just hearing that in the early morning or at dusk, there's some kind of peace and serenity about that I have found nothing else can even compare to.
You are speaking my language, girlfriend.
It's an incredible experience.
It is, isn't it? It is. It definitely, there's something about it that if you don't, you don't even have to hunt, just being out in the outdoors, enjoying what God has given us. And there's something about the breeze through the trees. So let's talk about a little bit about the mentor hunts that you've been on, the youth hunts. So you actually went on you've been on three, right?
Two. I've been on two.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did you yeah, go ahead.
So the first one I went on was about 2 or 3 years ago down at Razor Ranch in Zolfo Springs. And I was chosen for a hog hunt down there. And then the second one was the alligator hunt a few weeks ago. Okay,
fantastic. And you got, so I believe, if I'm not, correct me if I'm wrong, you got the biggest hog that one.
I did.
Yeah.
Yes, I did.
Awesome. Look at there. Did you guys take the meat home on that one too?
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
We cooked, and I gave meat away, lots of bacon. It was definitely plentiful.
Yeah,
there.
It looks like it is a nice size hog there. Now, was that a youth hunt, that one?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Awesome. I love it. I love to see that, and I love to hear it and your excitement and your voice.
Yes, that was through Safari International.
Okay.
So they sponsored that hunt.
Oh, okay. Fantastic. Now, have you done any turkey hunting?
Yes, I have. Have I harvested a turkey? No. I went out this year, and they decided they didn't want to come out, but that's okay. It was still nice seeing the sun come up.
Absolutely.
Just being with nature.
Yeah.
And hearing that in the morning, that's one of the best things you can hear.
I would say that's a successful hunt. When you can hear a turkey, you may not harvest one, but when you hear a turkey, that is a successful hunt right there.
Yes, we heard 8 of them.
See?
Unfortunately, none of them came out, but just hearing that all around us, It was incredible.
Yeah. Oh, there's always next year, girlfriend. There's always next year. So do you have any upcoming hunts that you want to do? Are you going to, because I know you have family that has some hunting property up north. Do you ever get the chance to go up there and hunt at all, or will you?
Yes. So I was actually going to go to Alabama, but I had some things come up, so I just decided to hunt down here.
Okay.
But probably not till deer season is when we'll go up there. I'm wanting to get more involved, possibly with archery. I haven't been very good at it, but that would extend the season. And I know I talked to you at the youth hunt a few weeks ago about how you love archery, and then you have double the season.
You do, and I absolutely love archery season. It's one of my favorite. I would prefer, honestly, to archery hunt because there's something about getting up and close personal with your game. It's a challenge, and you're gonna love it. You just got to keep practicing, and then don't be scared. You're gonna make mistakes because we all do. I mean, on everything we do, but that's how you learn. I've missed quite a few, but I have learned every time that I've missed. I've stopped, reflected, and then I go right back to it. And it's just so I'm excited for you for that, because I think you're gonna really you already shoot. You've been shooting guns since you were 8. You do group. You're part of the is it the clay? You do clay shooting competition. Yeah.
Yes, ma'am. Yes. So I am at the Fishhawk Challenge. I'm with their youth club, and that is a club at Fishhawk Sporting Clays, which is down around near me, near Lithia, Florida. And I have been shooting sporting clays since I was 8, but I've recently been getting into the skeet and trap more, just as some variation within it.
Yeah, what is the difference? To be honest with you, because I'm not a big clay shooter. Like, I just shot a whole bunch of clay. We just shot clays this over the weekend, and it was really, I haven't done it much. So it was fun by all means. So what's the difference?
So sporting clays, they have different courses, and the clays have a pathway where you would call pull, and machines throw them out, and it will be 2 to 4 different variations at one station. So it's just repetitive. So if you push the A bird, it is the same every time. Whereas trap, you stand in a line, and in front of you is a little box, about probably 6 by 6 maybe. And under there are machines that send clays out all different ways. So you would stand behind that machine and call pull, and then you have to be able to get on that bird and not knowing where it's going. Whereas skeet, there are multiple, they call them houses, that the clays come out of, and those also have a set path, but there are restrictions to how you need to shoot the clays. It's all very different, but it's all equally as fun. So with you being so good at that, have you duck hunted yet? I have not. Oh. I know quite a few people that have, and I want to do it very, very badly.
Me too. I haven't done it. I've done it once, and I really want to go duck hunting. We need to you should come and join me on a women's. Do all women's. They have them, and it's fantastic. We should come.
Yes, just call me and I'll come.
Okay,
I'm
great.
Excited.
Let's do it for sure. Mm-hmm. So I also want to talk about, which is really cool, like you guys, your family rehabbed whitetail. Is that correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So tell me a little bit about that. How was that growing up with these baby fawns? And I thought that was amazing.
So we don't do it anymore. My parents and brother did it when he was young, and then they kind of already had been doing it for a while by the time I was born. But it was incredible. Deer, honestly, are just like dogs. They wait for you in the morning. As soon as they see you, their tails start wagging, and they make their little sounds. And I don't know, you just grow a closer connection to their behavior. they're a lot more goofy than you think they are.
Yeah.
And just seeing them from a tiny little baby and feeding them and then seeing them before they get to be released it's sad, but it's rewarding because, you know, you're helping conservation and what could have died in the woods, now you've given a chance to survive and then help repopulate.
Absolutely. I love that. I love that. So we're going to take a quick break and just hold on real quick, you guys. We're going to be right back. We're going to come back and talk a little more hunting.
Paris Family Chiropractic understands after a long day in the woods, tracking and hunting, your back might be crying out louder than a call to the wild. Paris Family Chiropractic specializes in back, neck, and shoulder pain relief, carpal tunnel, disc injury treatment, headaches and migraines, sciatica treatment, and so much more. Get back to your prime hunting form. Visit ParisFamilyChiro.com and schedule your appointment today. Paris Family Chiropractic, Vero Beach. They're coming! The Blue Angels will roar over the skies of Vero at the Vero Beach Air Show, presented by Piper Aircraft Inc. See, hear, and feel the power of the Blue Angels. The MiG-17, the A-10 Warthog, and the Fat Albert. Experience the heat of the 2,000-foot-long wall of fire, with flames as high as 40 feet. And don't miss the fireworks extravaganza on Friday night. The Vero Beach Air Show, May 3rd, 4th, and 5th, presented by Piper Aircraft Inc. Get tickets online at VeroAirShow.com.
Welcome back to Huntin' with Heather. So my guest today is Cade McCollough. We are via phone. We had some internet service issues, but she is on. Cade, are you there?
Yes, ma'am, I am.
All right. So we were talking a little bit about you guys rehabbing deer, which I think is amazing. To be able to have that opportunity to do that and grow up in it. And unlike you said, you know, to raise them and to be able to release them to, you know, whether for the conservation. And can you touch a little bit about what conservation means to you?
So conservation to me is very, very important, not only because it's been around so long, but also conserving what woods we have is highly important for future generations because, like they say, that there's no more land being made, there's only land being developed. So we need to save what we have in order for future generations to be able to hunt and fish and do what we have the liberty of doing freely and have plentiful land so that we have the animals that we have now and possibly even more.
Well said. Very well said. And I can tell your parents had a great impact in your life with that because, you know, a lot of kids these days, they sit in front of a game system. They have no idea about the outdoors. They have no idea about conservation and hunting. And you don't have to hunt, but just conserving our land, like you said, and knowing why we need to do this. And I feel like this generation is the hunting generation is really dying off. And so it's really important that we continue to educate, you know, our children like your parents have, and not necessarily in the hunting. I'm sure they didn't push that on you, but, you know, just what it means. And I can tell by that.
Right.
And that's very important. And I commend your parents for that. And yeah, I got to meet your parents. They're wonderful people. From the, you know, little bit of time I got to spend with them, there they are. And I think it's great. And I'm sure they didn't push any of the hunting on you. That was something that you wanted to get involved in. Is that correct?
Oh, 100%. Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. But they were there to back you up, right?
1,000%, yes.
I love it.
They are. They always are.
And I know, so you are part of, let's see here, the Cattlemen's Association. And
yes,
and so with that, you're outdoors. I mean, I know it's, you know, it's different, but it's still you're still in the agriculture world, right? We're still in, this is really important part of our conservation. I feel like knowing how to deal with these kind of animals, knowing how to raise livestock, and it's very important. There's a lot that goes into it.
Right. And honestly, conservation goes the same for like cattle ranches. A lot of that land is where animals go to forage and get water and bed down. And if we lose our ranches, then we lose wildlife and land that they live on and have lived on for many years, especially in South Florida. There's so many large ranches down there that have so many animals that repopulate and survive.
Absolutely. And that, I don't think people take that into consideration. So that was well put, and to make knowledgeable to people, because I don't think they think of that. And so as these ranches are being depleted, or, they're being, like you said, being developed, it really makes a difference in, our management of animals and having to manage them. And so I think it's huge that we need to educate our kids, our children more on this.
Yes, ma'am. Especially on just animals as a whole, whether they're turkey, deer, or cows, or anything at all, because a lot of people don't put into consideration that the land that, say, cattle are on also has hundreds of different animals on it. It's not just solely for bovine.
Right. Or so the cows, right? So not just for that, or whether they're raising cows or hogs,
Right. Yes, ma'am.
I think it's just it really is important. And so, like, kudos to you for knowing and knowing this. So maybe you can go and teach people about this. Maybe that's something that you could do.
Mm-hmm.
So being part of the ambassador, you were an intermediate beef ambassador for the state of Florida. Can you tell me a little bit about that? What does that mean?
So I was elected in 2022. I went through a series of question and answer speech and various quizzes, you could say, to test my knowledge on the beef industry and agriculture as a whole, and just making sure I'm knowledgeable about what I would be talking about as a beef ambassador. So I was chosen for that spot, and through 2022 through 2023, I got to travel around the state of Florida just speaking to ranchers, farmers, and also to the general public about agriculture and the beef industry, because beef was first brought, cattle were first brought to Florida, and it was the first state to have cattle in it by Ponce de Leon. And I think people forget that there's such a rich history in Florida because of that, because Ponce de Leon started what is now a thriving industry and provides America with so many different jobs. So just being able to tell the public the story of the beef industry and how it's beneficial, and telling them the backlash that it gets and how it's not true, like how beef is actually good for you when eaten in moderation and properly prepared. And also a big part of it to me was saving the land, because just like we spoke about earlier, there's so many different animals on ranches that we need to preserve them and not allow subdivisions to just come in and completely wipe out all the land. Because Florida has valuable land, whether it's through waterways or pasture land or swamps. We have many of those. It's all valuable because it all helps animals thrive, and it helps preserve Florida's rich history.
Absolutely. Fantastic, girl. Thank you for that little lesson, because I didn't know that either. So thank you so much for that. So before we end the show, because we're going to have to wrap up, but I want to talk a little bit about, real quick, we have the mentor program, the mentorship program through the youth hunts. You guys, get your children involved. Get your kids. It's ages 12 to 17. Look what Cade's done. it's outstanding, and she has enjoyed it so much, and I look forward to maybe doing some hunts with her in the future. And Cade, before we end the show, give me a quick tip. What would you give a fellow hunter?
I would say get connected with the older generation because they've been there, they've hunted land. Honestly, just getting with somebody that is older and more experienced in general, whether that's through shooting or with hunting, they know the rights, the wrongs, and they know a lot of tips and tricks that come with hunting, and they can give you incredible advice, endless advice.
That right there is great advice. Thank you. Hey, thank you so much for coming on the show. You guys, thank you for joining us. Come back for another show. I love y'all. Go get out in the woods.